5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, YouTube. I'm Dan Salem here live on the BuzzChomp YouTube channel, ready to talk the NFL with you guys. It's week 14. A lot of teams are asking themselves, now what? Giants aren't the only one having to hit that panic button and figure out what the hell to do. But okay, before I go live, I must continue and go live on Facebook. 3, 2, 1. Hello, Facebook. I'm Dan Salem. I am live. Hi, YouTube. Hello, Facebook. I'm Dan Salem. I'm live at the Dan Salem on Facebook, at the Dan Salem on Twitter. Over on the BuzzChomp YouTube channel, I am live simultaneously because this technology thing is fun. All right, let me tweet it out. And I'm going to hit the retweet over on BuzzChomp's Twitter with an extra Z in there. And you guys go and give me some little retweet and heart loves. That'll be great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now what? It's NFL Week 14. I'm live here to talk our favorite sport with you guys. And basically, now what, right? There are a lot of teams, they're not going to make the playoffs. Now, I'm going to include several teams that pretty much need to win every game for the rest of the season in order to make the playoffs. I'm going to include them because that's really unlikely to happen. Okay. All of these teams, mind you, have a negative point differential, which means it's really, really unlikely to happen that they're going to win every game for the rest of the year. So, as I like to do, I will start in the AFC with the less obvious teams. I put Eli Manning on the photo for this live stream because the Giants and Eli Manning are definitely asking now what. I will get to them in a minute because they're probably going to be the longest piece of conversation here. Some of these teams in the AFC, they need to ask themselves this question. ESPN had a great article about each team that's probably out of the playoffs and what do they do next and what's their biggest need and what was their biggest failure this season and should they fire their coach. It was basically 1/3 of the teams should fire their coach. But as we all know in the NFL, probably 50% of them are going to do it. That means if I'm going to, they had 15 teams on their list. I am bold enough to eliminate at least half the league. So I'm going to probably have 16, 18, maybe even 20 teams that I'm going to go through here. And half of them are going to seriously consider whether their coach should come back. No, it's not like half that many teams fire their coach every year, right? 10 teams don't do it. So, but I'm going to really say if it doesn't happen this year, it happens next year for a lot of these teams. Therefore, we begin in the AFC East because that's my team's division, the Jets. The Jets will not fire their coach after this year. He's had a very successful season, considering for some unknown reason every single person wrote off the Jets this year, and it did them wonders. Now maybe that was like a media buy-in. We'll write this team off so that they can have a good year even though they're rebuilding. Because if they had said, oh, maybe they'll be just as good as last season, and now we are, that's not an improvement. Saying that the Jets are going to win 0 games, which was a joke, because, come on, really? I mean, I watched them play all last season. I knew that these guys on the team had talent. They were not anywhere near the Cleveland Browns. They were not anywhere near the Colts, how dysfunctional that team is, even though people think they'd be great with Andrew Luck. They don't play great defense. So, the Jets, they're an obvious now what, correct? They're not firing their coach. Now what? You got to figure out, obviously, who to target in the draft. I like Elijah McGuire. Most of these teams that are bad need better offensive lines. The Jets need a better offensive line. They have a really good defense. It needs to keep maturing. I think maybe you bring in another veteran in the secondary. I also think the Jets obviously have to decide what they want to go with quarterback. I would like them to pursue a proven veteran in free agency because they don't need to spend a lot of money in other positions except for the offensive line. And then draft smart in the draft. Don't reach for a quarterback. Not necessary. It's not necessary. Buffalo and Miami are also in the now what situation. The Dolphins. Yes, I know that they won just as many games as the Jets, but they've looked terrible. Their point differential, the Jets are negative 22. They're negative 89. They've just got blown away. The Dolphins need to fix their defense. Adam Gase is going to stick around. He deserves. I don't like firing coaches super quick. Ben McAdoo was the exception. Adam Gase has done a pretty good job for Miami. Yeah, sure, every team has injuries. They had injuries. He'll get one more season. I don't know if he survives next year if they don't improve. Buffalo, obviously, their rookie head coach, Sean McDermott's getting another season. He'll be there at least one more, if not two more seasons. Buffalo at 6-6, obviously, is still in the playoff hunt. They have to pass Baltimore and or Tennessee/Jacksonville. I could see it coming down to a 9-7 team between Tennessee, Baltimore, Buffalo, because I don't think the Jets, Dolphins, or Bengals. Oh, I guess the Chargers, though, I like Kansas City, Oakland. You know, I shouldn't hedge off my preseason picks. I had Kansas City win. No, I had Oakland winning the West. And I had Oakland winning the West, and I had the Chargers getting the wild card. And then I think I had Tennessee, not Jacksonville. And I had Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and New England. Those were my preseason picks. They're looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. Because Cleveland's obviously out. Now what? The Browns somehow still don't have a quarterback after drafting so many times high in the draft. They better pick one this season. They need to figure out which guy's theirs. That's their main thing. I hope they don't fire their coach, but they could because they're 0-12. The Bengals probably should fire their coach. He's been there long enough. Time for a new voice in-house. Same with the Colts. They should probably fire their coach and then figure out. I mean, now what? If you fire your coach, then it's a rebuild. For the Giants, then now what's about Eli Manning? For these teams, the Colts, I don't know if Andrew Luck's their long-term solution, but fire your coach first. The Bengals, Andy Dalton's got a couple more years left, so fire your coach. All these guys, common theme here, I'm bouncing around the AFC. They don't have a lot of good defense. Cleveland, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, they didn't play much defense. I'm not going to touch on the Texans because with the Deshaun Watson injury, they're as long as he needs to get healthy. Now what? Let him heal. And then Denver, Denver. I don't know what happened there. You need a quarterback. There's a Manning available, I've been told, but I'm not sure he's going to fix this team. It's a bit more broken than when Payton took it over. All right. I glazed by Buffalo, who obviously has to figure out its quarterback. All these teams that are bad in the AFC, common theme. Need to figure out their quarterback, need a better offensive line. Buffalo, check. Jets, Miami, check. Cincinnati, they kind of know Andy Dalton's their quarterback, but they need to protect him better. And they need defense. Browns, check. Houston, they need to heal their quarterback. Indianapolis needs to heal their quarterback. And the Denver Broncos need to find out who their quarterback is. Check the box. All right. Everyone else is kind of still in it. I mean, Oakland, LA, and Jacksonville and Baltimore are in the wild card. Buffalo's not as good as the Chargers right now, so I'm not including them. They need a turnaround, like a major miracle turnaround. Okay, which leads me back into the most interesting division in football, once again, the NFC East. They've been the most interesting division for several years. This year, it's because the Eagles are on fire and the Giants bottomed out, and the Cowboys are muddling in the middle. That makes this super interesting. Redskins, I feel like they're just as good as Dallas, but they just are a step below, and they're not going to get anywhere. It's not happening. So Giants, what do they do next? Now what? The way they so swiftly promoted Eli Manning back to starting quarterback after firing their coach and general manager makes me think that at least publicly for the next several months they are going to be saying we want Eli back next year to quarterback our team. This is more enticing to a head coach and a general manager with a Super Bowl winning quarterback at the helm. You can bring in a rookie to groom him while your Super Bowl winning quarterback continues to lead the way. You also have the best wide receiver in football, or second best depending on who you talk to. The best in the NFC, assuming he comes back from injury all healthy. The Giants need a running game. The Giants need an offensive line. The Giants need to figure out what happens on defense this year. But they're going to hire a coach and GM. I think they bring Eli back. I think that the ownership of the Giants looked so badly in the wake of Eli's demotion. I don't really know what was happening there because he had an active streak and now it ended, and now one game later they're bringing him back, so the streak's over. That sucks. I mean, 210 games, like, he could have kept going and maybe set the record. You ruined that for him for what? For one game from Geno Smith, who played okay. He played much like Geno Smith. He's a backup quarterback. He should only come in if someone gets hurt. If you're trying to save Eli Manning for next season, I get it. Just say that. Just say it. But then why put him in again? You shouldn't put him in again because then he's going to get, I mean, because the Giants have nobody now, I mean, Beckham's in the hospital rehabbing. They need Eli to be the face of the franchise. They need something to hook people. They can trade Eli after they bring in their coach and general manager, but until then, they kind of need him. So, I think you'll hear at least until his roster bonus is due that Eli's coming back. And then in that week before the roster bonus is due, depending on the state of the team, maybe they don't. Ooh, spooky, conspiracy. But he could also play another year or two there and groom the next guy because they could draft Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, and let him groom under Eli. That's Super Bowl winner. That's a great, great person to learn under. The Redskins, they really should keep Kirk Cousins. I don't think they're going to. Or I'm not sure he wants to stay. What's Maddie eating? She okay?
Yep.
Very quiet. Scary. If Washington without Kirk Cousins is in trouble. They're in trouble. But I don't know. I mean, can they keep him? They should. He's really a good quarterback. I want the Jets to steal him away, though, if that's a possibility. Dallas, I guess they need to really focus on their offensive line because minus Zeke Elliott, they didn't really have enough firepower. Last year with them, they were much farther along. I'm not sure their defense was any better. It feels like the same team as last season, just Zeke's suspended. That's unfortunate. They need to fix something. And Eagles, everything's going right? No, so I don't think Dallas is in the playoffs. That's why I'm including them in the now what. They're 6-6, but they're too far behind Carolina and Seattle to really make a peep. I mean, sure, if they win out and some of these other teams stumble, it's possible. I just don't see it happening. It's very unlikely that the Dallas Cowboys will win out. We'll touch on that in a second with this week's slate of games. Okay, in the NFC North, only the Bears. I don't know. I guess the Bears, Packers, and Lions getting asked now what. If the Packers and Lions win out, then they got a hope at the wild card. But again, don't see it happening. Aaron Rodgers is returning soon-ish. That could spark Green Bay-ish, but I don't think so. They got 2 games to make up on Carolina and Seattle, and it's very unlikely. So for Green Bay, they need to rebuild the receiving core. I mean, Hundley's not obviously Rodgers, but I just don't. There was not enough firepower there on offense to make up for the loss of one player. Now he's your best player, yes, and the defense needs some work. But running game, anyone been pretty good, but not good enough to win. Something's missing. Something's missing there. Detroit got to keep Matthew Stafford on his feet. They also just something's missing. Like 6-6. Like this feels like what the Lions have been. Nothing's gotten them over the hump. Maybe both teams need that big playmaker to complement their star quarterback. Chicago. I hate to say this, but I know you're going to go another year with Trubisky, but is he your guy? I mean, I know he's just a rookie. In rookie seasons, you shouldn't really judge a player on his rookie season, right? So he needs another year, but I'm seriously questioning, because of his lack of progress this season, what the Bears can do to really get Trubisky going. I mean, where are his weapons? You can't have success without weapons. The Jets proved that. Not this season, but very recently. NFC South, we're only writing off the Buccaneers. Everyone else is in it. Atlanta's still in it, 7-5. I like the direction Tampa Bay has taken. I like their names of their star players on paper. But it just has not materialized. Yes, obviously they've had injury. But I think ESPN had it best, Doug Martin. They need a running back they can rely on. He has not been their star player as they hoped and needed. But you'd think with Mike Evans, Winston, I know Winston's been hurt. It's just probably offensive line again. Something's missing. Something's missing in Tampa Bay, and I'm not sure one draft will solve it. We need to see improvement from their stars. In the West, San Francisco, you're on the right track. Everyone seems to be writing off rookie quarterback C.J. Beathard. I've really liked what I've seen from him. I guess maybe they're thinking he'll back up Garoppolo. If they franchise Garoppolo, keep him around. But San Francisco is really bad. And Beathard did pretty well considering how bad they were. Now, Garoppolo won this first game. I don't know. He probably won't give up the job. There's no reason to. We'll both be in contention. I like what the 49ers have. They obviously need to protect their quarterback better and find a new young running back because they just got old guys kicking around in there, I think. Arizona, so many injuries. We were talking about coaches fired. San Francisco's coach will stick around. I could see the Cardinals letting Bruce Arians go, but probably not. What are you eating? Is it a cucumber?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. They need to figure out their quarterbacks. I'm not sure Carson Palmer is their man. Maybe one more year for him. Say that about a lot of teams. We'll go through that in a second. Which teams are going to lose their quarterback this year? Well, San Francisco has to decide whether to keep Garoppolo or how long to keep him. Arizona's got Carson Palmer. He could retire. Maybe he's only got one season left. Seattle and LA have their guys. Tampa's got Winston at least for another year or two unless he flames out. Atlanta and Carolina and New Orleans are set, but Drew Brees has probably only got one more season, maybe two. Chicago, Trubisky's got one more season, maybe two, to prove that he's their man. Green Bay is fine. I think Green Bay, Detroit, both fine. Minnesota's got a quagmire of a decision. They got several guys to pick from. Nobody under contract. Surprisingly, Case Keenum, on top of the bunch, they're not going to trade away from him. I don't know. The Giants, I think they keep Eli for another year or two to train up their new rookie. That'd be the smart play. Save some face at this point. They got to do something, right? Washington, if you don't keep Cousins, I hope my Jets steal him. Dallas and Philly are fine. Denver's got nobody they want to play quarterback. Maybe they lose out. Look at a top 5 pick and can trade up and take one of the Southern California rookies. Oakland, Philip Rivers in LA. Another year or two. He's the same Eli Manning draft. They only got a couple seasons left in them. Need plan B coming soon. Kansas City. I know how much you complain about Alex Smith, but he's not the issue. He had his best game of the season against the Jets and wasn't enough to win because their defense couldn't stop anybody. Kansas City's got to worry about his defense, but I'm not sure they keep around Alex Smith. They got Mahomes, I think, right? I got to test him out and see. Iffy situation there in Kansas City. Indy. Is Andrew Luck going to stay healthy? I don't know anymore. Deshaun Watson's got to get healthy for the Texans. Jacksonville, I don't think they want to keep Blake Bortles around, but granted, if they go 11-5 or make the playoffs for the first time in a long time, it's hard to kick your quarterback to the curb. Tennessee, I got Mariota. Browns don't know what they're doing. Bengals, I don't know. Dalton. I got to believe Flacco and Roethlisberger only got another year or two in them. Maybe Flacco's got 3 or 4, but Roethlisberger could hang it up this season. I wouldn't put it past him. He doesn't have many left. Tom Brady's got probably 2 or 3 left if he keeps pushing the envelope. I don't know what Buffalo's going to do at quarterback. And Miami, do they trust Tannehill after his second straight knee injury? And my Jets. Finished my favorite team. I don't want them to bring Josh McCown back only because we already watched this story, and it happened between 2015 and 2016 when Ryan Fitzpatrick overachieved with the Jets. Then they brought him back, and then they failed. But that situation was different in the fact that the mistake the Jets made, they played hardball with Ryan Fitzpatrick till the bitter end. He missed all training camp, was unprepared, and then when he got slotted in, the team wasn't ready because they were not congealed as a whole unit. Not to put this on Fitzpatrick, however, Josh McCown is a much better team player and a much better leader than Fitzpatrick. I can just tell in the energy of the Jets. I can just tell in the energy of the offense. You have young guys, and they really look up to him as a leader, and they really can trust in him. I would be thrilled if he groomed a rookie quarterback for the Jets next season. That being said, I would prefer Kirk Cousins to come in and play quarterback for the Jets. He's a proven veteran with significantly fewer years on his resume than McCown, meaning he's better and he's going to play longer. McCown's got probably 1 more year, maybe 2 if he kicks around as a backup again. He's been exceptional. He's actually not turned the ball over nearly as much as he usually did in the past. That sounds familiar too, Ryan, since Patrick had his lowest turnover total that 1 year with the Jets, and then the following year he went back to the average, picks Patrick. we can't expect the same season from McCown again with the Jets next year. So that's point one. He is going to be worse because this was his career year. The same thing happened with Fitzpatrick. He had a career year with the Jets. He was worse the next year because it was his career year. It was his best ever. He is unlikely to top it a second. Like, you have your best ever late in your career, late in age for a player. You expect him to do just as well the next year? No, it's really likely he will be worse. So, knowing the Jets have to know this. If they bring McCown back, he's going to be worse next season. He's going to be older. It's very unlikely. It's not. That's there. There we go. There's the point. So I would hope they bring in a different veteran to mix it up, or start over with their rookie in place that's ready to play. That would be amazing if we had a rookie that's ready to play. It hasn't been like that since a long time. Was it Geno by default? The rookie? I forget. Because I kept trying to forget Geno Smith. Sorry, not sorry, Giants. All right. So, I will quickly look at the schedule because I've elapsed my time here. But, Week 14 has got some major matchups. Oh, what's that?
Cucumber. She ate it.
Oh, Maddie ate a whole cucumber. That's pretty awesome. New Orleans, Atlanta kicks off Thursday night. That is an amazing game. Both these teams need this game desperately. Other playoff teams facing each other, because I'm not going to talk about the Dregs. We already went on and on about them for 20 minutes. No. Oakland, Kansas City. Both teams need that desperately to keep the division and the playoffs within grasp. No. Minnesota, Carolina. Two more playoff teams playing one another. This is good. This is for home field advantage type stuff, and Carolina can keep its wild card spot. No. Well, Tennessee, yes, but Arizona, no. Washington, not really. Chargers. The Chargers are a must-win against the Redskins. Good thing they're at home and the Redskins are reeling. Maybe Philadelphia, Los Angeles. Two more playoff teams playing each other. Good. The Eagles need to rebound from their tough loss against the Seahawks. And the LA Rams, if they can stick it to them at home, that's a major win for the Rams. Ooh, and Seattle, Jacksonville's two playoff teams. I like that. I like that a lot. NFC, AFC, two playoff teams. I think Jacksonville's defense will prevail at home. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, they both desperately need that. Well, Baltimore really for the wild card. And then no. There we go. This was fun. I'm Dan Salem. I'm live every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time. That means next Tuesday I will be live to talk NFL Week 15 action. Will it be my final live stream of the year? I will figure out my schedule for the holidays and let you know. I would hate to miss the final playoff push, but with Christmas on a Monday and New Year's on a Monday, it makes live streaming on Tuesday a little bit tricky. But I will be live next Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, to talk with you about the NFL at the Dan Salem on Facebook, over on the creator side, over on Twitter at the Dan Salem, BuzzChomp's YouTube channel. Thank you and good night.